So would we be co-hosting this, co-chairing, right?
Yeah, we can start. Thank you. We are now in recording mode. So Shanda, over to you.
I think Shanta, you can proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Just to start with, I'm given this fancy title of principal. I always like being called an academic coordinator or an academic head, because I think that's more the 21st century task that we have, where we even coordinate, you know, from everything that happens in the school or an education organization. So that's what I do at African Link. And yeah, we've got this registration with Quality Control Council, which came through with a lot of hard work. You know how particular they are. And we registered to offer the NQF5 Tourist Information Officer course, you know, in Pietermaritzburg, based at 267 Burger Street. Now, during the course of this year, and I think it's because of you, Morris, and Polarprojects, that we've been able to offer the course to students. The students were referred by Mr. Zwane, who is the subject advisor in the Ngungundlovu region. Now, please forgive me, I've been out of education in South Africa since 2012. So if I have the designations incorrect or the region incorrect, please forgive me. It's been a long time since I've been in state education. Be that as it may, the course is an 18-month course. And yeah, you know, these two girls have been selected. They come from what we looked at was previously disadvantaged, historically disadvantaged, not previously disadvantaged, because there is a difference between those two. Historically disadvantaged and with very high marks. So that's what we've done. Very, very briefly, I'm going to go through the screen, and forgive me, I'm not on my laptop, I am on a phone. So I'm going to ask Morris to please introduce himself, and also thereafter for everybody else who's attending to introduce themselves with designations, please. Morris, you're muted.
Thank you so much, Shanda. Thank you for the introduction, and also thank you, Bunny, and the team for having me today. And my name is Mr. Morris Kusotera, but I go as Morris Polarprojects, and Polarprojects is a business consultancy which specializes in project management, and we manage projects for individuals, companies, and charities in the United Kingdom. We not only do projects in the UK, but we work with the African diaspora and also with African governments and African communities. And that is, in summary, all about me for now. And shall we hear from the others and then we proceed? Who is attending today?
Yes, please, in no order of protocol, because we're all just together on this project. If you could just take turns to introduce yourselves, please.
Good morning, Shanta, and good morning, Morris. Thank you so much, Morris, for giving us the time. I know you're a very busy person. I would like to say that the sponsorship that you have extended to the girls are really, I think it's mind-breaking, because it's going to open up so many opportunities that these young ladies had not even thought about. So thank you so much, and we look forward to walking this journey with you when we can introduce two very vibrant young youth members to the South African tourism structures. Thanks, Shanta.
Thank you.
And Bunny will be followed by?
Zani Buthelezi. Good morning, all. My name is Zani Buthelezi. I work for the KwaZulu Natal Department of Education, and I coordinate all the schools that offer tourism as a subject in the province. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zani. Who's next? Please unmute yourselves and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. It's Carmen here, and I am an assessor at African Link Training Academy. So I work with Ms. Shanta and Ms. Bola. And Morris, it's so nice to finally meet you. And I'm so sorry, I'm having problems with my video. So I'm not, you're not able to see me visually, but I work with the girls on a daily basis. And thank you so much for giving them this opportunity as well.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Humphrey. I'm from Pofu. Currently working with the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. I'm an avid fan of the Polar Projects, so I'm just been invited as a guest to see how far it's going, and I'm glad to say I'm happy with the his helpfulness in engaging with African diaspora and African communities as well, and I do really value his vision. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, this is Miss Mbata from Nondenisa, one of the schools under Umkungundlovu district. I'm teaching tourism. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Who's next? I cannot see the attendance screen, so Morris, can you help me? Do we have any more?
Yes, Shanta, we got 11 guests on the meeting today. Quite a good attendance.
Okay.
We got
So,
two guests
could we
from
have-
Uganda who are observing today. We got Jonah from Uganda, and we got also Muchi from Uganda. They are guests of Polar Projects.
Great. Would you like to introduce them, Morris, or will they introduce themselves?
Yeah, Muchi.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Mchengeti Bwakura. I'm based in Uganda, Kampala. I'm a very big fan for Polar Projects. So I've been invited by Mr. Morris to attend and just observe the proceedings, but well done for this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we also got Jonah, that she's also a good friend of Polar Projects, and she's also, observing today. And I think she's listening in, and think she might not be able to participate fully. Thank you. I think we'll move on to the next introduction.
All right.
Yeah. Kiasha.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi, Kiasha.
Okay, so I'm involved in the project in terms of the marketing and also just the development of it in any sense, whether it's youth or just bringing on different strategic partnerships.
Thank you, Kiasha. Right, I think we will have people joining in. Some are guests of Polarprojects who we have invited along the way. So they might be popping in from time to time. So I'm sure we got the two students as well who are going to introduce themselves.
So our two students are Nandi and Nonjabulo. These two young ladies achieved very high marks. And yeah, they lovely young ladies to have. Yes, they face challenges with, the COVID issue, but that's not a challenge anymore. That's a way of life for all of us. And, they live in areas where transport, etc., does become an issue. But what I'm really impressed about is that irrespective of the challenges, the enthusiasm is there. And we've got a slightly different take on the way we present something. I'm very much an LMS person. I'm very 21st century in my approach to education. So we use the Schoology method, and in using Schoology, those of you are familiar with it, it's similar to Moodle. It's in fact a sister program to Moodle, right? What happens is they're able to be in touch with lectures, with assignments, and even day-to-day communication, even if they don't make it, to the physical premises. And this has really helped in keeping the pacing of the curriculum as per the requirements. As you know, this is based on hours and credits, and each credit is worth 10 hours. So, it's 15 modules, knowledge modules, practical modules, and workplace modules. So these girls have been very cooperative, and I admire them because they come from a background that is not LMS based. I think the closest it's been, Ms. Sunny, is the D66, if I've got that code correctly. I'm not too sure if I'm, identifying that system that the Department of Education has used. So that's the closest they've ever been to an LMS. And their adaptation to the way I approach education, it's remarkable. So I'd like you to have a chat with Nandi first. Nandi, where are you, my dear girl? Can I just leave my desk and go to the room where Nandi is and make sure she's okay?
Sure, Shandu. Thank you.
There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Nandi.
My name is Nandi.
Nandi,
Shandu.
we can hear you, my dear.
I'm living at... Sorry, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Nandi Shandu, living at Institute near Khanyile. 18 years old. I was schooling at Nondenisa Secondary School last year, doing my matric. So due to the pandemic of the COVID-19, things were so hard to us as matriculants, whereas we had a lot to do at a limited period of time. We are forced to focus on the load of work on the other side, trying to protect our lives from this pandemic. Not all of us had the access on the online learning, whereas others were unable to study online. We had the worst year ever, but we managed to come up with the good results, which our parents are proud of us even today. I managed to pass my matric with a bachelor degree, with a distinction, which were the results I wasn't expecting. Since we had a short period to study, what we did as matriculants last year will be the history to the others, like the young ones. It is very much important to focus on the studies and know what you came to school for. The reason why I applied for this course is because I love tourism, and I also like meeting new people, new things, gathering new information while traveling. I also choose this course because traveling is the best hobby. I always see myself as a tourist guide one day. Hopefully, I will be this tourist guide one day. Okay, the name of the course is Tourism Information Officer. Just a simple course, a course for 18 months. What I learned from this course is that tourism is important and it empowers and also educates us as the students about traveling, and also guides the travelers.
We can't hear you now, Nandi. Yeah, unmute. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes.
The purpose of this course is to prepare a student to operate as a tourist information officer. We also have the tours that we take every month, but under the circumstances of the COVID-19, for example, the trip last month to the Old Prison Museum. Attending this course is more exciting because we are few, whereas we are able to communicate well and getting to know each other, even sharing ideas and so on. My aspirations for the coming years is to continue to work as a team with the group from the college and work through the African Link Travel, and I hope that will take me to where I belong. I also wish to complete this course on the given period, where it will be a moment of starting to explore my career throughout the world. We'll be able to support the office services and maintain information management system to enhance the effective operations of the office. We will also assist on the administration and setting up of the exhibitions and special events aside and throughout the tourism industry, which will be more exciting after this course. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Nandi.
thank you very much, Nandi, for such a good presentation and to hear about your aspirations and what led you to take this course. And we are pleased that you are on track to achieve your goal and also to learn during this difficult time of COVID. But you still remain resolute and dedicated to the cause. And you did mention quite a few interesting things there about learning, your eagerness to learn, and also your eagerness to know about other things. Tourism information officer, you mentioned. It sounds like you are gathering quite a lot of information to be an expert. And we are pleased as Polarprojects to have had this opportunity to assist you on this journey. And I am going to ask you a few questions, as to, if you don't mind, and to explore further. You did say that tourism was your, amongst all other careers, what really made you decide that you want to get into tourism?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'd say when we have that saying, when we say, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor, or when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. What made you choose tourism?
Always, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can, Nandi.
Okay. When
We
I
can
was
hear you,
young,
my
I
dear.
always used to. Okay, when I was young, I used to travel with my parents almost every month. So traveling like was my best hobby. That's where I take a decision that when I grew up, I want to explore the world, like traveling internationally, domestically, everywhere. That's why I choose tourism. And I also enjoy meeting new people, meeting new things, introducing new things to the people, and also work as a tour guide. I think that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, from here where we are, we hear about KwaZulu Natal quite a lot. Our condolences. We had the loss of the king, and also followed by the loss of the queen. And over here, KwaZulu Natal is well marketed, which means that in 10 years' time, we'll be seeing Nandi at the South African tourism desk in London at the World Travel Market, telling us about KwaZulu Natal. This is quite an achievement, and we are pleased to see you on this journey. There is something that I just that caught my attention when you were talking. You mentioned about you traveling with your parents and seeing new places, new things, and new people. It is quite a challenge for young people in Africa sometimes to find their path of what they want to do in life. And it appears that you managed to find your path, find tourism as where your heart belongs. So in terms of the role models that you have come across, apart from Miss Bunny Bula, of course, in tourism, who else, inspired you from across the borders that you have learned so far? Any companies or any personalities who have traveled, whom you see raising the flag?
It's Tata Nelson Mandela.
Yes. Yes. For amongst the heroes that you have mentioned, we have seen Nelson Mandela is one of the icons of South Africa. These days over here, we see one South African who has done amazing wonders, and Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah has done so well, and he has exhibited the fact that you can be from any background, and it doesn't determine your destination. So Trevor Noah always talks about his humble beginnings in South Africa, but now he lives in America and he's on the Daily Show. So he is an example of our young generation and who we have gone on to actually achieve greatness. So well done, and keep your dream going, because your imagination appears to have brought you. He has shown us that it is achievable, and we thank you, and we will keep on encouraging you to learn from you know, those who have achieved it, and to listen also to our elders, because they have wisdom that will guide you in your career. And is there anything else that from the panel that we would like to add? You know, Nandi has presented us with a very good presentation.
Morris?
Yes.
Morris, I have something to say, and I think Nandi's teacher and Nazani will agree with me.
Yes.
The area that Nandi comes from, Thembelihle, I was a math lit and English teacher at Eastwood for many years. And they face challenges that very few people will even dream of facing. For a child to have come out of what was an informal settlement and is now more formalized, and to be the person she is, Nandi is achieving way beyond just academia. I see her developing in the few months that I've been associated with her, and this girl is potential waiting to explode. I say this because subjectively I know the area. I've worked there for many years, and to see this development, you know, with all due respect to countries abroad and how you view South Africa, if you really know what some of us go through for education and make a success of it, you will understand why some of us who have been in the field of education still carry that passion, irrespective of what other careers we've gone into. And to us, to see the child come up from that, you know, it's a greater achievement to see a child come out of an environment like that and be a success, than to see an advantaged child be a success, with all due respects. So yes, I do have my bias towards, you know, trying to see those from the less advantaged come up.
True, Shanda. And it is a very, very good point that you have brought up. And what I will do is, I think I have at some point, I have a presentation that I will share with the school and the students, which I share from time to time with other organizations and other groups looking into that aspect. And what you have touched there is the concept of having power in your imagination.
Yes.
Nandi, you have demonstrated that you need energy to think of health when you are surrounded by disease, and you need energy to think of abundance when you are surrounded by poverty. And the mind is a great thing, because the mind is the source of all that we see. And a man can have no leg, but can think, speak, and eventually walk to far away places because of the mind. And sometimes it is not our surroundings that create the wealth that we see. And it is in the mind that we get anything and everything. Everything we are surrounded with started as an idea. Everything that we look at today started in somebody's mind as an idea. And therefore that person then nurtured that idea until they created it. So what Shanda has said there is true. Because I'm just gonna mute here. We're just gonna ask the, yeah, sorry about that. There was some background noise. So I was talking about having energy when you are surrounded by challenges, such that when you think yourself out of the challenges that you are surrounded with, you will achieve a success. One example, we know Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years, but he thought about strength until he achieved the greatness. And the same thing that we derive from all these examples of inspiring people who help themselves even when surrounded by challenges. So Nandi, we congratulate you and we support you, and you keep being an inspiration to all those children who are still surrounded by challenges. Shanda mentioned about Nandi's teacher, that you have something to tell us about Nandi. We can't hear you. You are muted.
Hello
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We can hear you.
I've mentioned before, I'm Miss Mbata from Nondenisa, one of the good performing schools in the district. Nandi was one of my best learners. I had like 3 best learners, and she was amongst those 3. She was a hard worker. She always strived for success. She was staying with her grandmother, who passed on in January. She always had passion in tourism. All her marks for the assessment, I was giving them since grade 10, because I met her in grade 10. She was the best performer. Fortunately, my surname and her surname were the same, but apart from that, she was performing very well, and I was behind her, and I was demanding that she would get an A by the end of the year. Fortunately, she did that. Like 2 days before their final examination for tourism, I took her with another girl. They stayed with me in the cottage because I wanted to ensure that they would get my A's. There were two girls and 1 boy. The girl is doing tourism at DUT. Unfortunately, the boy didn't do very well in other subjects. So he's staying at home. He will go for in the FET next year, because he will be improving his result mid-May. So Nandi was one of my best. I knew that if I give a test to the class, amongst those best 3, she will be there, definitely. Even if I ask any question in class, I know that if I go to her or if I point her, I will get an answer. She was one of my best. Actually, I miss her in my class. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a very inspirational story. And, you know, you remind us, you know, of of the pillars of the society that, you know, hold the society and guide the young people from, you know, into finding their path. And guide you know, it's like a guiding North Star that guides towards the journey and in the night, or isn't it, Shanda? That we do have these amazing teachers who give everything, you know, and who go beyond what they are actually assigned to do. Thank you very much. That was a very inspirational, you know.
Teaching is beyond the classroom, Morris.
It is.
Education is beyond the classroom.
It is. Thank you. Coming to the perspective, when we are talking about the perspective of education in developed countries and in African countries and in different societies, I myself, I grew up in Africa, and I can relate to the stories and to the story that Nandi is going through and has gone through. And most of my friends, my colleagues who I invite, who follow me on Polar Projects, they are bound by this love of knowledge and searching for one's soul amongst the challenges. So let's look at the issue of the challenges that we meet as an African boy child and girl child. You know, we do meet challenges like what Nandi's teacher has said. We do meet some financial challenges. We do meet some personal challenges, death in family, etc., etc. But we see that in the African society and in the African countries, there is always this love of the community. And we see that as well with Miss Banibula, who is doing a lot of work in the community, with you, Shanta, with the exchange programs that you are working on to support this academy and what Nandi and the young people are doing. So in terms of in the exchange programs, etc., etc., we at Polar Projects are very pleased that we would like to tap into coaching and student exchange and various programs. So let's look into ways of cooperating and working together on that. Right, let's talk about further on. Let me look at. That's right. So let's move. Are we ready to move on to the next student? Is it Nonjabulo? Is she here? We hear her story and how she has developed and moved on in the program.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Please forgive me, but I continuously get, sorry, Morris, please
It's
forgive
okay.
me. I continuously get kicked off the internet.
Oh, it's okay, Shandu, no problem.
So I'm going off camera if you don't mind.
It's okay. Nonjabulo,
Thank you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm doing good, and how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Tell us about yourself and how you ended up on this program and on this journey.
My name is Nonjabulo Khanyile, and I'm 18 years old. My home is located in New Hanover, which is approximately 37 kilometers away from Pietermaritzburg. I went to St. Joseph Secondary School. Tourism was one of my best subjects, and I always wanted to get in distinction. Last year was not easy to us. We went through a lot. of stress that we might face because a lot of time was wasted during lockdown. But even though it was not that easy, I was able to obtain good matric results that I didn't expect. I chose to do tourism information officer because I like to work with people. I'm interested in exploring domestically and internationally to see different tourist attractions from around the world. And also to meet new people and learn their languages and their verbal and non-verbal greetings. By doing this course, I have gained a lot of information that I wasn't aware of. Now I understand things and people better than before. I've never visited the old prison museum before, but since I'm doing this course, I know almost everything about it. There was a lot of information in that tourist attraction about the history and the life of prisoners that were arrested, which were political leaders. Tourism is so important that you learn new things every day, and it is also contributing a lot in country's economy. And the other thing, most of the destinations are successful because of tourism. And it has an impact in developing the country and job creation. This course is so important because it promotes tourism in order to attract tourists and generate significant economic benefits for a particular site. And there's a lot I'm expecting to learn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nonjabulo, for such a a very good presentation of how you have arrived at being where you are, doing what you are doing now. We are pleased that Polarprojects has managed to play a role in your journey. And there is this is an inspiration to us, and we are also pleased to be able to contribute positively. I think we got an echo coming from somewhere.
I'm actually just trying to check where is that echo.
Yes. Maybe if we could mute. Yeah.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm on another device where the camera is not working, so please bear with me.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Nonjabulo, you mentioned the challenges of being far away from where you are studying and where you live, but despite that, you still managed to press on and to go on with the goal that you have chosen. And in terms of focus, tell us, how do you keep yourself focused in achieving what you do? Do you, especially during this pandemic time? How do you keep yourself focused? You know, sometimes you have challenges of maybe in other, chores or helping out the family, or how do you keep yourself focused, on what you need to achieve?
Even though there's a lot of challenges, but I'm able to do my work and I always ask my parents to help me with buying a data so that I can research some work that needs to be done. And also with home chores, I asked my aunts that I will not be able to do most of the things that is supposed to be done in home because I have worked, I have school work to do.
Yes, yes. And you have mentioned something, there that is very, common in our African lives. We always have to help our families, our extended families, and, especially the girl child has to do, chores at home and cooking sometimes and making sure that everybody is looked after despite having the same achievements that you need to achieve in school. So we commend you for that. And we, you have also mentioned about job creation, which is a very important aspect of what Polarprojects does. So do you see yourself as an employer, or in 5 years time or 10 years time, do you see yourself as an employer or as an employee? What do you think?
I see myself as an employer.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Because sometimes with our education as young people, we go through school, we put some certificates on the wall, we get good grades, we graduate, and at the end of the celebrations, we are looking for jobs. And this is what one thing that Polarprojects does, is we try to help people and companies or individuals to create wealth. And creating wealth, as I have shared earlier, it starts in the mind. It always starts in the mind. So when you develop the mindset of being an employer, you are actually creating wealth for yourself, the family, and the community. And that is a very good way forward. Because we do find some graduates walking down the streets with their certificates, looking for work and looking for jobs. And yet we are surrounded by opportunities which need just that mindset that you have, Nonjabulo. So in terms of you being a company owner in 10 years time, would you say there is a specific, are you gonna own a lodge, or are you going to run a tour company like African Link, or are you going to maybe run an airline, or are you going to, what do you think?
I'm interested in running an airline.
That is a very, very good and very, very good idea, because South African Airlines is in need of new ideas. We would like to fly South African Airlines when we're coming back to South Africa after COVID. So I am sure that the training academy is gonna look into how the airline industry works, and or give you an opportunity to get attached to an airline, which I did when I was at university, and I ended up working for an airline straight from university, and then decided to That's how I entered the travel industry, working for an airline. So your position as a tourism information officer will actually grant you the ticket to get into the airline industry, which is a great opportunity. Is your teacher around, Miss? Is your teacher around today, Nonjabulo? From where you were, where you? Do we have a teacher? No. Okay.
No, I don't see her teacher online with us. No.
Yes. No. Okay. But despite that, you seem you seem to me that African Link did a great assessment and on supporting you and picking you for the award that was presented to you. And we thank Shanda and Bunny and the team for supporting you and also for encouraging you to keep going. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, is there? Yeah, I'm going to open the floor for some comments on Nonjabulo's presentation. Yeah, can we, any comments, any support, and any words of wisdom, Bunny?
Thanks, Morris. I'd like to give Zani the opportunity of giving us comments on both the students and how they are developing. I'll hand over to Zani.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bunny.
Thanks, Bunny. That was my thought as well.
Yes, thanks. Thanks.
Thanks, Bunny. Good morning, everyone, once again. One is really humbled by the level of confidence that these learners are showing. We're just hoping that whatever they've started with African Link and Polar Projects grows and develops into something more solid. I mean, Nonjabulo says she wants to be a business owner. So I'm hoping that African Link will be able to provide her with the skills that will make her achieve that kind of goal. So it's really impressive. We just hope that Polar Projects will be able to provide the opportunity for more of our learners in KZN, because we really need it. And what is even humbling more is the family background that these learners come from. As Shanta has mentioned earlier, that we have these learners that come from a disadvantaged background, but the drive within them, enables them to come out of that, and they come out victorious. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zani. I think we have met before in the previous discussion and forum that we have created, and I'm looking forward to actually coming up with a more workable and more. Sorry, I'm gonna ask. Sorry, I'm gonna mute everybody who is not speaking. So yes, Zani, I was just saying we have met in the forum that we have created, which is going to look into the exchange programs that we can work together between the UK and KwaZulu Natal, and I'm looking forward to moving forward with the discussions and the way forward on that issue. And thank you very much for giving that overview. And I actually think that I may probably have to address the students with a specific speech that I want to share with them today, if you know if it is possible. Shanda, is there?
You have the floor, sir.
Yes.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear me because as I said, I'm on a different system.
Yes.
Yeah, you have the floor. Do what you think is right. And when you're considering South Africa as well, and Ms. Zani, you will agree with me, one of the projects I'd like you to really look at, sir, is whilst we're educating the girl child, if we do not have proper sanitation and menstrual health promotion for our girl children, then we can forget them even getting a proper education. So,
Sure.
Ms. Zani, I think you will agree with me that that is something that in all your projects, please have that as one of the aspects that you deal with.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I can see Mr. Keswa. Is it Mr.
Yes.
Keswa? Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Keswa. We couldn't get you to speak here the other time because your signal was going.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome.
Can you hear me? Welcome.
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Yes.
Yes. I'm happy to speak to you. I'm a Nonjabulo's teacher. Can you hear me? Yes. We are so,
yes.
yes, we are so thrilled with what the initiative that you come up with. I'm so glad that this thing is finally coming up. Yeah, that's what I want to say. It's share my compliment, and I hope that you're gonna work with us. I mean, in a long run, so that we make sure that these kids that we teach, it's funny because I just came in now. I didn't quite get what is happening, but all I'm saying that I'm sharing my gratitude. I'm saying thank you for whatever that you are doing. I hope that you're gonna assist us, and then this project continue even for these learners who are still teaching in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keswa. Thank you very much. Finally, today we have managed to hear from you.
All right. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. What we are doing is we are recording this presentation, so Bunny and Shanda will be able to share it with you and Miss Zani as well. So what I'm going to do is now, I think it is a good time for me to present or to give you this little speech that I have, which I have given in other groups in Africa, because it touches on the things that we need to look at as a community, because I feel that I'm part of your community. And when we look at the boy child and girl child, we need to look at these things. So I'm just gonna go straight into it. It might take me about 10 minutes or so, but I always keep it prepared. So today this is a speech it's not a presentation, but it's a speech that I wanted to share with Nandi and Nonjabulo, and you as the teachers and parents. We need to look at these things and assist them to achieve the greatness. So it is my honor and a great pleasure to be here. So can you hear me? Yes. Yeah. So this is a great time for me, and before I would like to express my gratitude and congratulations to Miss Banibula and to Shanda of African Link Tourism Academy, who are obviously our hosts for this event. To Miss Banibula specifically, I would like to congratulate her on this achievement, and I'm here to support her and her team and in educating and empowering young people from KwaZulu Natal. Polarprojects is pleased and honored to have the opportunity of supporting Nandi and Nonjabulo from the academy through scholarships that will see them through 2021. So we have plans to increase our support to more students in the academic year of 2022. So we also pledge that to those who haven't received the scholarship, we'll support them with personal coaching and career development. Hence today, our theme that we had looked at was youth development. But before I go into that in detail or not, let me tell you about Polar Projects and what it is all about. I run Polar Projects, which I like to describe as a thinking center of projects. We exercise our thinking on behalf of individuals, charities, and companies so that their dreams come true. We don't tell them of our thoughts, but we provoke a debate in their own minds, exploring their intended goals and guide them through to success. So Polar Projects is a business project management consultancy service dedicated to individuals, companies, and charities. So imagine what Nonjabulo was talking about there. Imagine if you want to start a successful ostrich farm, you approach us for advice. If you want to export oranges to China, you approach us. Right. So imagine you wish to have a very successful career, you approach us. So our current projects include iHealth Africa. iHealth Africa, in partnership with Polar Projects, is working on a number of projects in Africa, especially in iHealth within vulnerable people or communities. We also have African Tourism Showcase, and whereby we are talking about anti-poaching in Africa in partnership with Italy, the African Tourism Board, and under the leadership of Mr Cuthbert Ncube. But today, to our students, we are looking into the issue of youth development. So young people always struggle to actually find their feet. They don't know how to achieve development or success, whether it be in school or after school or in life. Some just float along and they do not know how it is done. Some never make it. Some stumble across the so-called success by accident. Only a few really make it. Some find themselves in foreign lands living the dream, or at home living the dream. If nobody ever set you down to tell you the secret, today is your day. So it is a Polar Projects Day just for you. What I'll share with you today is never spoken about in school. Some people go through life searching for these words. So to our students, listen very carefully. So if you were expecting a presentation, I think it's gonna be different today, because I'm gonna make it as a little speech. So what is development? It comes from develop, meaning to grow, to achieve, to attain a goal. So youth development means for young people to attain their desired goals, for young people to be successful. So at Polar Projects, let me tell you how we do it. At Polar Projects, we believe in thoughts, in words, and in action, exactly in that order. So let's call it a story. It's an African story of thoughts, words, and action. So whether you are a young person in KwaZulu Natal, South Africa, or you are in London, Britain, or you are in Paris, France, the formula is the same. You think it, you say it, and you act upon it. So today I'm going to share with you the core DNA of development. Because we are born in certain families we never knew. We grow, go to school, get certificates, and put them on the walls of our parents, get a job, fail or stumble to success. Some find it, some fail. And when you think you have just cracked the puzzle, oops, it slips away. So sometimes we get a second chance. So let's share with you my thoughts and some very essential words and try to put them into action. So we hear of this development as personal development, youth development, etc. But the essence of life is growth. So if we don't grow, then we self-destruct, or if it is a plant, it dies. So my wife's teacher once told me something, said there are two things in life we have no control about. First, the start of our lives or our births into families we don't choose. And the second thing is that the end of our lives, which is our deaths. But everything else in between, it is in our control. So we have the control of direction of travel, or we can change the direction of travel. So we are in control. So some people will disagree, but please allow me to discuss this further, because it is also possible to actually be successful. Even if you want to be a farmer, you can be successful. If you want to be a tourism information officer, you can be successful. Because there are some laws in the universe that if we follow them, we will come to the conclusion of success. So what does it mean? It means there is a science of development, and it is an exact science like algebra or arithmetic. And if we follow these laws which govern this success, we will get successful. We will be successful with absolute mathematical certainty. And I always say we need to look within our minds, because that is where the inspiration comes from. That is where the ideas come from. And that is where we actually build the foundation of the future. And as Shanda mentioned earlier, she mentioned about the girl child and the boy child as well. We have to look into the issue of supporting our girl child, because they are the ones who are mainly disadvantaged. And as we know, traditionally, our parents, our communities seemed traditionally to always push the boy child forward. But we have to remember the girl child. But also now these days, we may face a situation where we develop the girl child so much that our sisters end up being very successful, and they are princesses, but they are all, unfortunately, will be so far ahead of the boy child that they remain single for a long time. But we have also to remember the boy child, that these days we might end up leaving the boy child behind. At Polar Projects, we are also really keen on looking into the other things about what we call the inner me and the outer me, or the career me. Because in development, we end up developing the career me. The career me is such that we talk about the education, the certificates. It's influenced by the society, by family, etc., etc. Having a CV, a great job, etc. But there is also the inner me, which is where we find comfort within ourselves. And when I go to funerals, I hear people talk about the inner me. They talk about how he or she was kind, how she loved everybody, how she was compassionate, generous, and virtuous. That is the inner me. It is priceless. You can never put a price tag on generosity, on kindness, on compassion, love, virtue. It is priceless. So the contrast of the inner me and the career me makes our boy child and girl child very conflicted. We only live once. So they ask themselves, which path should I choose as a young African? So these personalities matter. We have to balance them. So as teachers, we have to support them. As parents, we have to support them. And therefore, it is very important that we talk to them. We hear what their inspirations are. Because the inner me will seek for the common good of all people, and it will put others first. The inner me will fundraise for the local hospital, do community projects, give back. That is the ideal person that we all reach to be. When we have achieved the success of a good bank balance, traveling and doing all sorts, we go back to look to the inner me, because that is where the peace of mind is. So there is a science of getting rich. There is a science of success. And let's work together to help these young people achieve a great balance of the inner me and the outer me. And thank you very much. And I would like to wish our students great success. And with African Link Training Academy, we are here. We are always here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shandu. And thank you, Bani. And thank you, the students and all our guests. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Morris. Food for thought. I was listening to you, and you know, my core career now is I'm a neuroagility practitioner and a counselor and a registered coach. And I find this lack of congruence between the inner me and the outer me so often. And it shows up even worse when parents have these expectations for their children, especially, you know, I deal a lot with the late adolescent and of course the young adult. And they come to you saying, my child doesn't know what to do. But when they leave that child with you, okay, not everybody can afford the testing, but they leave that child with you who's a neutral person for an average of an hour, 30 minutes. And that child leaves your room with a totally different mindset, relaxed. And then you have a difficult parent to work with. So whilst we're saying to our youth, find your inner me, and you know, we're preaching these mantras, we also have to try and change the mindset of the parents or the parent figures in our communities. So I think, you know, it's great to start where we are starting, but we also, I also believe, and I think this is going to be greatly with Ms. Zani's influence and what she can, you know, create using the Department of Education and Health and Welfare and of course social development, etc., is to change these mindsets so that we have a holistic development of our children. Because certification is not the ultimate criteria of education. It is an aspect of it, and certainly not the criteria. So yes, I thank you very much, and I'll hand over to Bunny Bula, our, she hates me calling her this, but our head honcho, who can close this morning's meeting for us. Thank you, Bunny, for this opportunity as well.
Yeah, muted, Bunny.
Sorry. Thank you, everybody. I'm just one of the team members. I just like to bring to everyone's attention the day we presented the awards to Nandi and Nonjabulo. Nandi's teacher said me something that really has stuck to my mind. She said, Morris, you brought hope to a community that didn't think beyond the borders of Pietermaritzburg. That was the most amazing thing that came out of this whole journey, is the hope that they are wanting to see these two young students be in London, because it would be the first time a student from a rural school in the rural areas of Pietermaritzburg, they are in touch with somebody from London, and they have aspirations of coming to London. So thank you so much for the hope that you have brought to everybody, and to everyone that has supported us on our journey. Thank you. We would like to, at least once in 3 months, continue with our discussions so we can inspire, we can take guidance from all of you, and ensure that we fulfill on our promise and our mandate. Zani, thank you so much for being so supportive. I think your team is excellent. We're all going to learn a lot, and Morris is going to be our guiding light. And also to the educators who have joined us on this session, and Morris, to your guests who have joined in, we must thank them very much. And we look forward to their comments, any ideas that they might have, because it's only through constructive teamwork and collaboration we'll be able to push KwaZulu Natal and bring the relationship between the UK and KwaZulu Natal to fruition. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we look forward to the next session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bunny.
Thank you, Bunny. Thank you, Morris.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, girls, and Shanta for a team. Well done.
Thank
you. Thank you, Shanda. Thank you very
Only
much
a
for
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.